Well, in this lesson from Ecclesiasticus, my goodness, I bet some of you can apply this to our contemporary situation. However, I want to kind of get at, dig underneath a little bit to what is the essential attitude that underwrites this passage, and frankly also carries forward into Paul's letters in the New Testament. And this is a fundamental attitude about government and about the power of the state and politics. That the essential framework of the Israelites, of Jewish religion, is that basically politics and community life, that the political order is just a part of nature, right? It's just part. It's like that there are going to be kings and magistrates and judges, and that communities are going to order themselves, is just as part of a natural part of the human condition as the fact that water runs downhill. It is part of being in creation, that the created order has within it, in a sense, laws that govern or create the fact of human power in the political realm. That just there's going to be government. That's the background of St. Paul's the section in the letter to the Romans in chapter 13, where St. Paul just assumes that there's going to be the magistrate bears the sword for a reason. That when human beings come together, there's going to be politics, because that's what human relationships are, is give and take and negotiation in a sense. So it's really what I think in some ways that's strange for Americans to hear, because Americans, I think, especially contemporary Americans, think that all power is of itself evil, right? That's just something we have to deconstruct. And that's alien to in my judgment, more realistic view of the scriptures. Is simply power exists. The question is, who wields it, how, and in whose name? So, who's going to wield the power? Is it going to be and in whose name? Does one wield power in the name of the God of Israel, the Old Testament? Does one wield power in the name of creating justice and mercy, in the word, in the kind of the framework of the prophets and the Psalms, by the way? And so this passage from Ecclesiasticus talks about how ultimately that human power and human community break down when under the weight of human pride. In a sense, human pride understood as attempting to live life as if God doesn't exist, right? Attempting to run life on our own terms. That would be kind of a way to kind of just unpack what pride in this sense means in the scriptures. Just the idea that I'm in charge and nobody's the boss of me, even God, if God exists, right? That would be the height of foolishness in the scriptural language. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. And those who are proud, the first thing they do is they forsake God in their pride, and everything goes downhill after that. And that human community breaks down under those conditions of when human pride takes charge, in the same way that basically a bridge can collapse under too much weight. That human communities cannot sustain life without God, and that the weight that pulls community down, that is exercised by human pride, by the human desire to live life on our own terms, according to our own values, and not look to God and what he demands in terms of mercy and justice and compassion for the weak and the poor, that there's only one result. So we as followers of Jesus, we as God's people, are called to, in a sense, not eschew or reject political engagement or reject political life, period. You often hear people say, oh, it's just a shame that the church life is so political. Well, church life is made up of human beings, so of course it's political. That's the deal. The only question is, in whose name is power and authority, and how and to what end are power and authority exercised. And the scriptures there have a clear, ringing answer that power and authority are to be exercised and ordered to the support of the weak, the orphan and the widow, those who are in distress are to be comforted, wounds are to be bound up, and that is why power exists, not so the strong can have it and keep it, so that the strong can use it on behalf of those who are weak. The rich can use their wealth on behalf of the poor, that all might flourish and achieve the ends for which God created them, not the state, but the ends for which God created them. A reading from the book of Ecclesiasticus. A wise magistrate educates his people, and the rule of an intelligent person is well ordered. As the people's judge is, so are his officials. As the ruler of the city is, so are all its inhabitants. An undisciplined king ruins his people, but a city becomes fit to live in through the understanding of its rulers. The government of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and over it he will raise up the right leader for the time. Human success is in the hand of the Lord, and it is he who confers honor upon the lawgiver. Do not get angry with your neighbor for every injury, and do not resort to acts of insolence. Arrogance is hateful to the Lord and to mortals, and injustice is outrageous to both. Sovereignty passes from nation to nation on account of injustice and insolence and wealth. How can dust and ashes be proud? Even in life, the human body decays. A long illness baffles the physician. The king of today will die tomorrow. For when one is dead, he inherits maggots and vermin and worms. The beginning of human pride is to forsake the Lord. The heart has withdrawn from its maker. For the beginning of pride is sin, and the one who clings to it pours out abominations. Therefore the Lord brings upon them unheard of calamities and destroys them completely. The Lord overthrows the thrones of rulers and enthrones the lowly in their place. The Lord plucks up the roots of the nations and plants the humble in their place. The Lord lays waste the lands of the nations and destroys them to the foundations of the earth. He removes some of them and destroys them, and erases the memory of them from the earth. Pride was not created for human beings, or violent anger for those born of women. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.